Some people chase the mainstream. Others crave what hides in shadows. Welcome to Indie Horror Junkie, the home of filmmakers, writers, artists, and fans who live for the strange, the bold, the unapologetically independent. From blood-soaked short films and underground features to creator spotlights, reviews, and horror you won't find anywhere else. No studio filters, no safe bets, just raw imagination and fearless storytelling. If you love horror that takes risks, horror that bleeds passion, horror made by creators who refuse to play it safe, then you're already one of us. Indie Horror Junkie. Feed your fear. Support the underground. Indie Horror Junkie, where independent horror lives and refuses to die.
Welcome to the Indie Horror Junkie podcast, where nightmares meet the light, shadows entwine. Tonight we dive deep into the horror scene with Rod and Ricky in Asylum, Aimee living the dream. Hear the howl of the night echo in your mind, where the rebels of fright, leaving no soul behind. Movers and shakers, we've got the scoop. Filmmakers and actors, they're part of our group. Indie horror lovers, gather all around, bringing the edge, where true tales are found. With every wound that bleeds, a story to tell. Join us, laugh, where the haunted begins.
Hey, Junkies, Rod and Ricky D. How's it going?
It's going. How are you doing?
Long time no talk. Just kidding. We've been on the phone all day. We're in pre-production, baby. But right now we are turning our attention to the Indie Horror Junkie podcast, episode 118, you guys. TikTok, here we go again. It's a new year, tons of shows. We have writer, director, producer Rod Blackhurst tonight from Dolly. He's going to be here. He's got a really fun, cool, crazy movie we're going to get into. It's hitting theaters March the 6th. But first, we have some Indie Horror Junkie news. You want to get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's start with MegaCon. We had all that fun MegaCon showing up in our intro. Get me all excited for March 19th through the 22nd. There we go. MegaCon Orlando, the Indie Horror Junkie Film Festival, 4 days of shorts, feature films. We have special screenings, panels, Q&A, photo ops. Look at this. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 beautiful special screenings in addition to the already selected feature and short films. We have our beautiful trophies there, you guys. There's going to be a lot of people going home with awards and all these different categories. Our judges have been working hard, but not as hard as those filmmakers and not as hard as the Junkies planning this big event, you guys. It's going to be bigger and badder than it's ever been before. So if you haven't got your tickets, you might want to, because it's going to be a good time. And you want to come hang out with us and mingle and chit chat and network, because it's the event of the year hitting Central Florida just a few short weeks. We currently have issue number 22 of the Indie Horror Junkie magazine available at indiehorrorjunkie.com. You've got your physical copy, your PDF. There it is. Tide Bunny brought to you by Terror Films. Tons of great articles, everything that's going on in the indie horror scene right now. And coming to you on March the 1st, we're going to drop the cover of our 3-year Indieversary. That's right. 3 years of these two lunatics right here, you guys. You know, you love it. So we have a really fun cover in the works with a really talented artist. And we're going to tell you all about him in the magazine. And I think he's going to be at the film festival too, along with these issues of the magazines, which will also be used as this year's film festival program. So much going on. Told you we were busy. What else do we got? We've got more magazines and more issues coming up. So if you want to advertise with us, head over to indiehorrorjunkie@gmail.com and shoot us a line. Let us know what you're working on. Let us know what you want us to promote. We want to talk all about you and what you do. That's what we're here for. Can't have an intro without giving a shout out to Tarot Cards, our buddies over there at tarotcards.com, free virtual horror film cards. You can keep up with the latest indie horror junkie films. It's a fun way to check things out. You can download it on Google Play or the Apple Store, and they are big supporters of us. We're big supporters of them. You can find trading cards for the clock, even Indie Horror Junkie magazine cover issues. So it's just a fun way to kind of stay involved and stay connected. So shout out to Tarot Cards. And we have The Inn now streaming as well on Prime, and March 13th they're going to be hitting other platforms, so keep an eye out for that. If you haven't checked it out, you'll see these two junkies right here on the big screen, and lots of Central Florida talent right there for this indie horror slasher. So much fun. So shout out to everybody involved in that. And if you like what we're doing, you know you do, head over to YouTube, check out our YouTube page, like and subscribe. And while you're doing that, keep an eye out on our socials, because we are shooting our short film Fear Good this weekend, and we're going to be bringing you lots of behind the scenes for that. Fear Good is one of the short original films presented by Indie Horror Junkie that is going to be included in the new horror anthology titled Reels of the Dead, also brought to you by Indie Horror Junkie. So lots going on. Sleep when we're dead. But we got lots to get into today. Let's go ahead and show the trailer for Dolly, and then we're going to bring Rod out and talk all about it.
All right, here we go.
Wow. So beautiful. Oh, no.
Someone's art project, maybe?
All the way out here?
That's weird.
Don't miss the film critics are calling.
Nightmare fuel.
Hello?
A truly terrifying killer.
Hey, are you okay?
A wonderfully violent backwoods slasher. The scariest movie yet in the Great Chainsaw Massacre tradition.
You're a new doll. You're gonna have to play along, play along, play along, play along, play along.
Mother.
What did you do to me?
Knows.
We gotta go.
Best. Dolly.
Welcome to the show, Rod. You've got some explaining to do because that is creepy and messed up, and we are here for it. So welcome to the show. How's it going?
I'm going I'm going to talk real words here in a second. It's going great. Thank you for having me.
Like I said, you're good company. This is me the whole show.
But you all are like, everything you were leading in with is, I'm like, holy crap, they're very eloquent and like prepared, and I'm like, I hope I can.
I'm so glad we come off that way because we wing it every week.
I know.
Everyone's just making it up in life. And if anyone tells you differently, they're lying, right?
We're making it up before the show. I'm like, hey, Rick, I'm probably going to be late to the pre-show, but I'll be there by 8. And somehow I managed to get on time anyways. But we're all doing our best. Hey, Alyssa. So, but yeah, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. This is going to be so much fun. We've been seeing a lot of Dolly on the indie horror scene on socials. It's in the algorithm. People are talking about it. People are excited about it. So for those who haven't heard of it, we haven't watched it yet because it's going to hit theaters March 6th, right? So those who don't know anything about it, if you could just kind of introduce yourself, who you are, and a little bit about this film without giving too much away.
Sure. Wait, so have you seen it? Should I like talk about it like you've seen it? Or have you not seen it?
We haven't.
Well,
seen
we haven't. This is a live audience, so we don't want to give too much away.
No, I know, but like, okay, all right. So my name is Rod Blackhurst. I live in Nashville. I'm the director, producer, co-writer of Dolly. It's I don't know, like a grindhouse 1970s exploitation film meets New French Extremity inspired story about a young woman who ends up abducted by a monstrous figure that wants to raise them as their child. And that trailer is damn cool because that's Shudder and IFC's creation entirely, and they get it. Like they got it, like, and that's always the best when you have a partner that sees you kind of like how you've imagined yourself, and then they show it back to you, or they show it to you and you go, holy smokes, you just get it. And so it's very cool to see that trailer. Although also the trailer is the green band version of things, and like I hope that there's something more green band about the movie than just what's going on in the green band trailer.
So if I understand, the movie's basically Texas Chainsaw Massacre meets Martyrs with daddy issues, right?
Or mommy issues.
Or mommy
right?
issues.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. I mean, I would say even more like High Tension and Calvaire. It's interesting. Like, I don't think like we set out at all to. Well, of course, there's some Texas Chainsaw Massacre reference throughout the movie, overtly and subtly at times. But I mean, maybe you can't get away from that when you're tipping your hat in the ways that you can to those films that certainly inspired me and were part of my upbringing as a storyteller and a filmmaker. So it's interesting. There's a quote in the trailer that's very, very long. And it's like something in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre tradition. And I'm like, oh man, that's a word salad. I hope people are okay with that much voiceover being read. So we'll take it. I'll take the comparison, because if it's something familiar enough that draws an audience member to it, and then they can see more of what we're doing or what we're trying to do, that's awesome. Like, I'll take it a day in and out. Also, who doesn't love the OG Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yep.
There we go. I actually had the pleasure of working with John Dugan a few years ago on a feature film down here in Florida, so that was a lot of fun.
That's very cool.
We have a couple questions right off the bat here for you. One, Dean wants to know, where did you film it? And then we have a bigger question here. I'll let you answer this one first.
Sure. Well, I live in Nashville, Tennessee. We filmed the movie in Chattanooga because we heard how hard of a time Sam Raimi had filming the original Evil Dead, and we thought we would see if we could maybe do shit as hard as he did. Turns out he might have had it harder. But I also, I want to make movies where I live so I can be close to my family and make movies with my friends, and a lot of them live here in Tennessee and in Chattanooga.
Very cool. The next one we have here is a little longer. I have a question for Rod. How did he fund Dolly? And does he have any advice on funding your first feature film and how to find the right distributor for your indie film?
Let's get into it.
That's a good question. All right. So I've made other movies of different types: documentary, horror thriller, crime thriller. I've made nonfiction TV, like, documentary television. And I've produced all those things myself. It's hard. It's exhausting. And I think and even before making my first film called Here Alone, which was a horror thriller that came out in 2015. I guess we filmed it in 15. It came out in 15. I tried to make multiple other films and it failed to make them. And I became this is going to tie back around, I promise, to this question. Like, I'd become a producer because I found that everybody was either lying or overstating their capabilities about what needed to happen to make a film. And I was like, well, I can just learn how to do this and do it. And then the responsibility ultimately rests with me. Like, if I fail, it's on me. And if I succeed, it's on me. At the same time, you start doing that before you have kids, then you have kids and you have a mortgage, and things get harder and harder. And I think in my life, in 2021, when we wrote this movie, I'd I'd had some successes, and I realized that they really weren't adding up to much more, right? Like you make a couple movies, you think maybe my phone will ring once, right? Like actually, I remember having that thought, like maybe I'll get some opportunity. Now, don't get me wrong, like I was hustling up on my own accord, like selling things, selling scripts, whatnot. But I went back to the drawing board out of professional frustration, and because I'd met this incredible writer, Brandon Weevil, who had made a blind submission to my producing partner, Noah Lang, and he was pound for pound the best horror writer I'd ever read. And I kept thinking, well, I'm frustrated. I can't get any movie made. Everyone's telling me the movies I am trying to get made are too complicated or have too much mythology or too expensive. So we said, well, what's the movie we can write and create and produce for the least amount of money and the most, manageable way? And that was Dolly. Well, then it was called Baby Girl. And what we then did is, we write the script, we start putting together like a giant, like prospectus. Like the prospectus is like a mix of legalese and risks and disclaimers and the sort of the financial plan for the film. And then you start generating all of your shareholder offerings, and you start sharing it with people that you've met through making those other things, right? So while your phone may not have rang, you have met a bunch of supporters and allies who believe in you and have seen that you can execute, and you go back to them. And really, half of our financing came from a group of people in Chattanooga, that I met through my friend Bryce McGuire, who's a producer on Dolly, who I've known a long time. Bryce and I directed the short film, and I produced the short film Night Swim that we then developed into the feature that became Night Swim, the feature that Bryce directed. Well, I've known Bryce since we were in the Suck in Los Angeles in like 2011. And case in point, like you meet people, you grow, and you get better at what you do, and you meet people that actually can come forward and help you. And so that's the process I'm doing. It sounds really simple, but it's not, and it's hard, and it's a miracle that any movie exists, as you all know, that you can find the money at all. So, I mean, that's like, gosh, it feels so brief, but that's it in a nutshell. Like, you make shit because you've made some stuff before that works and is good, and you get people to believe in you because you can deliver.
I think Rick and I relate to everything that you just said. So we totally get it. And I know there's a lot of filmmakers out there shaking their heads like, yes, I can relate to all that. Been there, done that, going there, turning around, bringing people with you, asking, and like, don't be afraid to go back to those connections that you've made, and don't look at things as a failure just because you said the phone didn't ring. Doesn't mean that you didn't make the right contact, that you don't have those supporters. Don't underestimate yourself along the way, because you know your worth, and that's why you kept pushing to move forward, right?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, right. It's endless self-belief. Like, despite the odds, like my daughter, who's in the movie, Eve, my oldest daughter, plays the young girl in the movie. She's playing basketball this year. They're not doing well. And she's like, wants to give up. And I'm like, listen, the majority of situations and things I encounter at face value are defeats, right? And I don't mean that in the pejorative way, but they just aren't victories, right? I was like, but that's easy. Once you've had 10,000 defeats, it ain't no thing, right? But the first bunch hurt, And don't get me wrong, things still hurt for sure. Like, but you learn to weather it, and you learn how to attack the problem by going through the suck, by dealing with those defeats. So
resilience, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, grit, right?
Roll with it, or just quit the business, because there's really no other way to do it.
I think that's true, right? Like, somebody told me, right, like at a certain point, you're either insane and you keep going, and you're maybe, well, I mean, maybe we all are.
You have to be a little, I think.
Yeah.
Well, you have to be, right. You have to, again, but I think it's like, you're trying to temper that all the time. You're a dreamer, but you are trying to be a realist. And, but but some people give up, right? Like I have a lot of friends, and there were talented filmmakers, talented creative people, and they moved on to do other things, because they were getting older, because they had families, and they were going, this has to work. And I think, I've maybe like blindly just kept going, like, like you're talking about. Because I also love it, and I can see that I'm getting better, and I'm learning what I should do differently, and I can apply that knowledge all the time. And Dolly in a lot of ways as a business and as an entrepreneurial endeavor is a reflection of all those things that I've learned over the last, I don't know, 15 years prior to making it. Somebody asked how long it took to make. I saw that in there.
Yes.
Am I like it flashed up? Oh, there it goes. It came up again.
Hey, Dean.
So we filmed it in 20 days. We have joked that we actually had 19 because we lost the half of our first 2 days to growing pains, right? You're like trying to get a team together and like learn how to do something as a unit. And like those first days are like the true test of like how well you can do this. It was 20 days, but the joke amongst ourselves is it was 19.
Very cool.
So where did the idea of Dolly come from? Because this is not your ordinary freak show here. This is like some people's nightmares really come from dolls. They hate dolls just like they hate clowns. And I think that there is a hole right now in horror in general for a female driven villain to this extent. Where did all this come from in your sick little heads?
Well, thank you for the kind words. Well, to pick up from what I was saying a second ago, like, I was at a point of personal and professional frustration, and I started thinking about all these different things that I knew to be in my life or that I'd experienced. I mean, and there's not like, and then they create a Venn diagram, and inside of the Venn diagram kind of is this, this flame that grows to become this idea. I grew up without a TV on a dirt road in the upstate New York in the Adirondacks. My parents still live at the end it's a gravel road, actually, not a dirt road. I should be honest about that. They still live there. Acres and acres, miles and miles of woods. I had no neighbors. I was born in 1980. When you don't have a TV, but you love movies, you obsessively try to invite yourself over to people's houses to watch whatever they have or whatever somebody can successfully rent from the jewelry store in town, which was also the appliance repair store, and they had a hallway of VHS. Also, the guy who ran the jewelry store and the movie rental shop was my bus driver. His name was Pete Parker. It was a strange confluence of like movie things going on. But you start watching movies that you probably shouldn't. Texas Chainsaw, Many Faces of Death. Evil Dead. Tourist Trap, like whatever. But you just watch whatever they have, right? I mean, you're watching it all, right? Or whatever you can get your friends to rent, or their big brothers and sisters to rent. So there's that. Like those things are like, you can't stop thinking about them as you grow up, and they of course influence what you're doing and the choices you're making. I told you we met this incredible writer, Brandon Weevil. I had these personal and professional frustrations, but also narratively at that time, I have a woman in my life who I'm close to who was facing their own motherhood and had a terrible and essentially non-existent relationship with their mother, and who was a bit of a monster in their life and had used love as a weapon or as a way to control people, right? As a way to control this woman and her siblings. And as she was facing, my friend was facing her own motherhood, she wondered if those behaviors and patterns might be latent inside of her, and lest she end up like that. And she was also wishing that she had somebody she could talk to about what she was going through. And that to me sounded like a real grounded nightmare, like a real world nightmare, like a horrific thing to be navigating. And I kept thinking to myself, well, in movies and in narrative, the way stories work in my brain, maybe your brains too, I go, well, what's the perfect way to represent that? Well, we'll bring it to life, and we'll bring it to life with an opposing force that is hell-bent on the exact thing that our protagonist, who's a representation of this woman that I know, is like our opposing force thinks they're an incredible mother, or thinks they're going to be an incredible mother, has a loss in their life, and these two characters never going to be on the same page. It's a fear come true, right? Like a nightmare come alive. And dolls, the funny part about the dolls for me is like clowns are my thing, right? Or stoic looking people who are emotionless, right? And I think in this movie you have a seemingly emotionless facade to something, but dolls as small things traditionally represent family. They are little tiny things that get used by my daughters, by the women I know in my life, as family members and as audience, and they don't have a say in what's going on. And so there was this swirling of all these things. I go, well, what can I do with this? What can I do with this? Shoot it in the woods during the day, all during the day, because I can't afford lights or an ability to control the light, and the least number of cast, and woods are cheap to rent. And here's an idea. I actually, last fall, I posted, this is a long-winded answer. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
No, it's so good. We're here.
I love it. Yeah.
Please don't stop. We love hearing all the back end of this. So do our
Well,
viewers.
it's like, it's like many different things, right? Well, I wrote an Instagram post about when I first texted Brandon in 2021. I was sitting on a plane, and we had this massive conversation that is going to be in a book that we're putting together right now about like how you dream something up, right? And like, you know, not to steal the TED Talk name, but like, TED Talk for like independent filmmaker, right? Like how do you take the kernel of an idea and build it, right? And how do you add to it and allow it to become what it is, and get to this point where you have a movie coming out? And it just started with a text conversation where I texted Brandon being like, what if we did this, right? Like, what if we did this for these reasons, and maybe it could also be a way to make a living? And I mean that truthfully. Like, I think like filmmaking for me has always been creative entrepreneurship, right? I'm building a business, and often it's a single business that's then done. And that's been largely unsatisfying in my life. And, I can't keep doing that at age 45 with 2 kids and a mortgage. So even the origins of Dolly was like, well, how can we do this? How can we be intelligent and thoughtful about it and make this something that we can, a sandbox that we can play in forever? And that's Dolly. And it's not as twisted as I think it is, but it definitely has twisted aspects to it.
I love all of that. Rick and I were talking before the show how beautiful the cinematography is in this, and what role did the cinematography and the sound design play in shaping this atmosphere? Did you already, fully see that in your head? Was this a creative process with your cinematographer? And do you know what kind of lens that you use? Because it's just so gorgeous.
So I've forgotten what lenses, but I know a lot about this. So Justin Derry is our cinematographer. This is the second movie we've made together. We've made a lot of commercials over the years. And it's the second film with our gaffer, David Risner, who I've also worked on a TV show with. I think generally everyone I work with are just the homegirls and homeboys, right? Like your friends who over-deliver and make you look better than what you would do on your own. Like, I'm not a cinematographer. I'm not a production designer. I'm not a gaffer. So we decided to shoot on film as a practical response to light. Truly is like, well, film handles highlights well, and we don't have the money to light in the woods, and we're going to shoot during the day. Well, film can handle that well. I don't think the film was as punchy or poppy or colorful as it, or in the way I thought about it then. I think it was probably a little more, bleaker or stark on the page. But as things are, I think when, at least I've found when I'm making them, they eventually tell you what they are. Or my job is to go, oh, well, this is coming alive because of these contributions, because of the choices Kyra, our production designer, is making, because of what Justin is doing. And then embrace that, right? Versus fighting it, right? Like, I think when you haven't made anything and you want to make something, you want it to be you, right? Like, because you're worried that what if it's not, right? What if it sucks? What if it doesn't work? And so you really kind of try to force, sounds negative, but like make something be what you see in your head. And I think after you get to make a couple of things, you go, oh, well, I've freed myself up to really let my collaborations tell me what's going on here. But that house, like the color palette, the handheld language, we did know what those things were going to be. They just are more magical than I think I thought they would be in prep. And I don't know, man, it's just, I can't even know what the film once was. I only know what it is now. And there's no prior version. Yes, I could go open the script again, but who cares? Like, it's cool. I love it now. So why like, that would be, masochistic maybe a little bit, but not really, because it's better now. So, yeah, I don't know the lenses. I'll find out though.
Sure, yeah. We'll harass
It was
you
a
later.
Super 16
We're gonna
camera.
email you, after the show obsessively until you give us that answer.
I think
But
we have
aside
full
from that, so all those exterior shots in the woods, is that just shot on natural flat light?
I mean, yeah, or sunny light. I can see where the light's changing, right? Like I know where we've had to match it a little bit in color. But yeah, literally, there wasn't a single light in the woods.
Wow.
But I will say, like, remember I said we wrote the film to take place during the day, and then we wrote the house to take place at night, but the windows are boarded up for a number of reasons. Truly, the first are boarded up and blacked out. You can't leave, right? It's a nightmare, right? You get trapped. It's Alice in Wonderland, trapped in the looking glass, or down the rabbit hole. Well, that was really because I thought, well, if we blacked out the windows, we could shoot inside the house during the day and not have to work overnights and not all go insane. So practical, like literally pragmatic, practical filmmaking. Although we did end up building the house on inside of an old perfume factory in Chattanooga, and it's 2 different floors, and that's a whole other thing. So if it's insane, some people don't know that they think it's a house in the woods. They think it's the location we found. No, but Kyra Baselli and her team made that from scratch.
Wow.
In a warehouse with no air conditioning. At first, we did get air conditioning in there eventually.
Yeah, those would make for some long days with no AC for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Did you do anything CGI?
Yes. So we have not computer or not animation in that sense, or or VFX in that sense. I mean, I guess I'll call it more VFX. Like, we have an incredible practical effects team. Ashley Thomas and her partner Al, Yellow Moth Makeup. They're in New Jersey. They make incredible. They've worked on. You would know all the movies they've worked on. 2-person team, and we also, so most things were done actually everything was done practically, except for when you're someone's meeting their maker. You can't do that because we need the actors around, of course. Like, so clearly we're using some tricks. But we did have a 3-person VFX team in Los Angeles. Tim Hendricks, Adam Miller, and Ethan Felblue. I mean, and they've worked on insane stuff. Like, Ethan did a bunch of VFX work on Everything Everywhere All at Once. But from moment one, the goal was to take a very painterly, old Disney style approach to things. So it was really a lot of paintings that were then 3D manipulated to move, right? Because all the language in the film is handheld. So the tracking arrays that Tim would send me sometimes, because he's a mad scientist, he's like, would be insane, right? He would send me these pictures of all the nodes inside of his software, and I'd be like, I'm sorry, dude. And he'd be like, yes, this is your problem, but I love you still. So those things are at play there, but they're there to support the work that Ashley and Al were doing, of course, which is, you can tell, right? You can tell it's real.
Since we're talking so much about the beauty of this film, the shots and locations, Rick, let's throw up some stills that we have and talk about them. We've got quite a few, and kind of give the viewers a little bit more insight of what it is that we're referring to, because this is just such a fun film. This is going to be a nice tease for everybody.
Now, what do we got going on here, Rod?
I'm supposed to talk. Sorry. So this is this is the first still that came out for the movie. This is Dolly in the kitchen during a moment where she's trying to see what's wrong with her new child.
You don't give away too much, but just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, this was like, by the way, that was a film still you just had. This is an incredible set photo from our friend John Blasi, who gratefully came down to be on the whole movie. I mean, this is early on in the film. It's not directly from the movie. You can tell, right? Like, it's like a higher resolution photograph, but yeah, this is Dolly doing some bad shit to some people.
I love all the creepy little dolls hanging in the tree in the background.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I mean, she has an audience. She has to have things bear witness to what she's going through. And those are the only friends and family she has, which is sad, I think. This is one of the very opening sequences of the film. Again, another John Blasi still. That's all built in a warehouse. Wow. It's insane. It's insane to me. It looks incredible. It looks nuts.
It's amazing.
Yeah. That's the same house.
Very busy.
It's Very busy. It's also disgusting. Like
She's very busy. She's always busy doing something with somebody.
Yeah, I mean, well, listen, when you're Dolly and you've been brought into the world the way you have, and you're going through what you're going through, that's what you do. You just react. This is our lead actor, Fabienne Therese, who's incredible, and that's well, as you can see, she's not wearing things you would normally wear to work.
No.
So maybe we're at a certain point in the
Not
movie.
looking so lucky there.
She looks like,
Where did all the dolls come from?
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace, and But here's the interesting thing. I think in this scene, somewhere around this time, like somebody was walking through the woods and saw Fabienne looking like this. I mean, it's an intense. I mean, Fabienne went through it for the film, and she's incredible. It was hard. But I think this person was walking through the woods and was like, "Holy shit! Like, what's going on here?" And maybe it's the woods. Maybe it was a gas station. I don't remember fully. I wasn't there. And everyone on set started offering up, "Oh no, like she's fine. We're just shooting a movie." And this innocent passerby was like, looked at everyone and very seriously said, "I'm gonna need to hear from her, like not you," as if we might be up to something terrible.
I like that though. I like that. I really do.
I'm gonna need to hear from her. So,
It's a good citizen right there.
Yeah, totally. Again, Dolly in the nursery. Man, it's insane. I've got the Dolly mask. Well, you can't see it. I'll bring it up in a second, like, because we're preparing it for like something we're doing this week.
Oh, look at that.
It's so big, right? Like, look at, I have a big head, like 7 3/4. Like, for those that celebrate, like I can't wear a fitted hat.
I love that you know your head measurements.
Well, it's when you have a big head, not in the metaphorical sense, but like, yeah, I don't know. When it's something that you're embarrassed about when you're a kid. Yeah.
I love how big this doll head is. I think it just adds to the lore of her.
And the eyes weighted.
That's really cool.
Right. Like, and that's because that's what a doll would do, right? Like, so there's a couple scenes in the film where Dolly may or may not be sleeping, and it's just, I don't know. It's awesome.
Now, did you envision this face? Is this something that was in your sick, twisted head that you have a part in designing what she looks like?
Yes, thank you for the kind words again. I also love my mother very much. I should tell everyone that. I have my mother's a superhero to me. She's the best. She probably does know best too. Even if I don't ever tell her. Way off topic. Yeah. So Dolly was I'd seen it. I've watched Tourist Trap. I love Child's Play, the movie. I had seen an image of an old Shirley Temple doll, or an approximation of Shirley Temple that had on Etsy once actually, and it was remarkable. And it had this, look, but really, or this broken open eye hole, and really, once we were thinking about Dolly practically, we needed to give our actor the incredible, well, at the time we didn't know who it would be, but ended up being the Maxine Paler, who's remarkable. We needed to give them the ability to see, to be able to perform. But there's a narrative reason for why Dolly wears a mask, and why it looks so childlike and innocent, and why it's fused to their neck, which you can see in a lot of shots in the movie. I guess, thank you. It does come from my mind, and my kids hate it, and my youngest thinks it's Dolly Parton. But
Tara Park's commented that it's nightmare fuel, and I agree with it. There's something very unsettling and confusing when you're looking at the face, which I think adds to the creep factor. Well, it's cute, but it's swollen, and then
way too big. It's shiny.
How old are you, and why is this happening? There's a lot that there's like a whole journey you go through looking at it, because we all have this predisposed image of a doll, and then we have what we know of horror, and then we've never seen anything exactly like this, and so we're analyzing it and taking it in, and it's like I can't figure it out. So I think you're just kind of taking it in as a viewer the whole time, this unsettling image, and then obviously we get to see a little preview of what's happening. I think you did a really good job with it.
Thank you. It's interesting. I just got an email this afternoon from we worked with this incredible designer, fabricator in the UK, Dan Martin from 13 Finger FX, and he works on like all Ben Wheatley stuff and a lot of the Cronenberg stuff. Actually, his credits are insane. Like I never am sure how to talk about him and give him enough praise and respect, but he'd put together like a little, as we're working on one of these books, he'd put together a bunch of his other references, like, and he brought up like Argento's Deep Red. He had worked on an Amblin film called The Turning that had a mask-like figure to this. He'd also worked on these creepy possessed dolls for a movie I think called Truth Seekers for Amazon. And so in a lot of ways, like, as you have an idea, yes, you have what you wrote on the page, and then you have what you need to be able to do to practically bring that to life, and then you have what a collaborator does. And I think that ultimately this mask is even far superior than what we wrote. It is, we knew we needed to be porcelain, meet the uncanny valley, be something that like felt childlike but way too big. You couldn't really, ageless, right? Just even the pursing of the lips and there's little teeth showing, it's all by design, right? It's all meant to evoke something, right? Like and speak to also Dolly's origins. So yeah, I mean the mask is incredible because of Dan, and like through and through. I'm reading Dan's other credits: Azrael, The Banshees of Inisherin, Infinity Pool, Color Out of Space, Borderlands. The guy knows what he's doing, and he's awesome. He's a salt of the earth, true G. We got other masks in the mail today. They came all the way over from England. I'm like so thrilled. Well, I'm thrilled to have them in the house. The kids are not. So
Just go put them under their pillows.
Yeah, well, that's what you should do. Then they'll become filmmakers.
Yeah.
Referencing Dolly's origin, are we going to get into that in the way that we want to know in this film, or is there going to be a prequel to this that you're thinking about?
Well, when we wrote it in 2021, before we ever shot a proof of concept in December of 2021, which was to just show people like what it might look like or feel like, or to touch on some of the aspects of it. We though had mapped out at that point a trilogy and a universe for the movie. But when you're making when your plans are, well, we have to make a film for no money, no time, in the day, you go, well, we can only do so much with what we have. And concurrently to that, we had tried with our network of investors and executive producers to every 2 months we're taking them a different project, and we had projects that were, I don't know, far more complicated, far more expensive, far bigger, and even all the Hollywood, everyone we know in Hollywood, the entire Hollywood system, and people kept saying no, right? So we were like, well, why are they saying no? Like, it was frustrating. It didn't make sense. So concurrently, we were like, well, we'll just make something that throws you right into it, doesn't explain too much, but it's all thought out, and the breadcrumbs are all there from the opening stanza on screen through the details and the like emotional dynamics that change, especially between Dolly and the other characters, or Dolly and our main character. We'll leave those things all there, but we can't afford to do that now. We'll do that later. And if people stay through the whole credits, they'll learn a little more, and they'll go, oh, right, like there is a master plan here. And there always was, and there always will be. I mean, I think for me as a filmmaker, in running a studio called Witchcraft, we produced this movie. Filmmaking is creative entrepreneurship. Again, you're building a business. Well, I don't want to open one store or one restaurant and then shut it down. I want to be in this business forever and ever. And so the way to do that is to create original IP. And contrary to what anybody tells you, a script is original IP, and all these ideas, they're intellectual property. I mean, just because it hasn't been made and isn't like widely successful and mitigate risk doesn't mean it's not intellectual property. Well, that's just what I've got to be doing at this point in my life and this point in my career, is like dreaming like that. So yeah, there's a lot more Dolly to come.
There is another question we had here for you. With regards to that, was there anything that you had to cut out of the film?
When you shoot film, you can't overshoot. There's literally one thing. Well, there's like 5 shots that aren't in the movie. They are just blue screen shots of dolls falling. There is a sequence in the film where we originally thought we would have cascading dolls. it both became impossible with the camera language that the entire film is handheld, and it was just going to be impossible to do, right? So we scrapped it once we got into post-production. Also, in fact, we overused the footage we have. No one can tell anymore, but that's because my editor, Justin Oki, is a wizard and found ways to stretch the very spare amount of film we shot, because film costs money. So when when a take isn't working, or technically it's not working, you just cut the camera and you roll at the last minute. Like you roll 1 second before you yell action, and literally as quickly as you can yell cut, it's off, right? There's no trying a scene on, there's no like letting the scene go. Well, at least not at the indie film level. I guess if you're Judd Apatow, you can let him go.
Love that guy. Lots of comedy there.
Mhm.
Now let's talk a little bit about the journey from, this independent language that we're talking about here to IFC and Shudder and your March 6th release. What was that process for you? And was it what did you have a plan and stick to it, or did things kind of just go in a different direction?
I think a little bit of both, right? Like, again, in the spirit of like, well, I
hopes and dreams. Right.
In our original pitch deck, that prospectus I was telling that one person about, there's a letter of intent, and the first page said, this film was for people like us, people like us. And I mean, not just us, but my tribe of weirdo misfits who we make movies together and what we love. But the goal was to premiere at either Fantastic Fest, Fantasia, or Sitges. That was step one, and we ended up premiering at 2 of those 3. So in some ways we did, we hit our mark, right? Like, which is remarkable, right? Because it doesn't always work out like that. But I think, the way that we got to this point with a wide theatrical release, which is insane, like in theaters only for almost just over 3 weeks, and it could go longer if the demand is there. It's in the UK for like, it's in Australia, March 12th. It's insane. I can make a movie. I can work really hard to make sure it's working in its mechanics and like for what it is. That what happens next, I have no control about it. I will say I have to give credit to early on, we found incredible sales agents. Bluefinch, they're a company in the UK, and they've also helped us secure a lot of international distribution. We have a wide theatrical release coming out in Latin America and France, physical release in France, Turkey, Germany, Poland, Scandinavia. Like, it's happening. But I really think that the only way
their horror, like the whole European film market, it's all about horror.
We're thrilled. Like, just today we got it's in every country south of the border of the United States border, in like starting in mid-May, like every country. It's insane.
Congratulations.
It's so
fun.
It's insane. But I don't have any control over that, because all I can do is make a good movie, I guess, be a good leader, be a good like steward of the movie, of the intention behind it all, and be consistent in the way that we talk about it and those hopes and dreams. And beyond that, like, I have to, it's hard, right? It's hard when you don't have, none of us are distributors. And yes, people can distribute independently. I'm not Chris Stuckman, and I'm not like, I'm going to mispronounce his name who made the Iron Lung. Like, I'm not a content creator that can build an audience that way. Like, I'm a introvert, right, who really likes to be behind camera and create things in my garage and in my office. Like, if you are doing what those people are doing, you can build a way to have a pipeline to an audience, and you can find a way. I mean, I'm sure Mark Pliers, the amount of money he made after a theatrical revenue split, so assuming theaters are taking 60 to 40% of that money, that's still a remarkable achievement, right? And so I don't know. I mean, like, but you need a distributor, and there weren't a lot of distributors that we could talk with. Like, a lot of them are not the people you want to be in business with. There's only like maybe 20 to 25 folks out there that are sort of viable. And we got really lucky, because IFC and Shudder watched the film and not just loved it, but really it like became apparent to us that they understood who we were, what we were trying to do, our hopes and dreams, and they kept reassuring us that like, hey, we're the right partner for you. And so far they have been. Again, the key art in the trailer is entirely theirs. It's the best. Like, I'm like, this is awesome. And I've been on the other side of that, where you have partners that generate materials that misrepresent what you're doing, and that really hurts you, right? Audiences feel duped, or they feel angry. They think they're going to come for an action film, but really you've made a slow burn crime thriller. That doesn't help anybody. It's so short-sighted, right? You might get a butt in the seat, but then they leave you an angry review and they tank all of your scores everywhere. Well, why would you do that? Like, and I'm just impressed writ large with Shudder and IFC, and yeah, I feel very lucky to be where we are.
You're right about what you just said, backing up a second about, if you get a distributor that doesn't understand you, and doesn't care to even involve your vision to an extent, you might end up with a poster that's misleading, like cover art that's misleading, a trailer that's misleading, like you said, just to get the butts and the seats. I've seen that happen. It's messed up, and you're like, what is that poster? That's not the movie. What is that? And then because they want you to click it, and they want you to pay for it, and they want you to buy the ticket, and that's very creatively frustrating to the filmmakers and the writers and the people who made the movie. So,
well, it also doesn't make anybody money, right? Like it's like a slash and burn, right? Like, I'll make a quick buck, or maybe I don't know what the euphemism is. Like, maybe we'll make a quick buck, and then, but there's no tail to the life of the movie. Well, I don't know. I've done that before. I can't keep doing that.
Well, congratulations on all that you have coming up. That's just so cool. It's really inspiring for filmmakers like Rick and I, and filmmakers that are watching. And so much that you've said tonight is relatable. I know it resonates with, the both of us, Rick, and, we're in the middle of pre-production right now. We've got stuff lined up endlessly that we're just trying to continue to, produce and get out there and make things happen. And one project leads to the next. And then, like you said, you get people behind you, and then you get more money and people believing in you and wanting you to make new stuff. And there's a lot of pressure there. But at the same time, you're like, man, we're so lucky to have these people behind us who want us to succeed and want us to do good. Now let's do the best that we can and put the best thing out there. Yeah. Just the fact that you're, people have to understand, you have to know the business of this as well. You can't just make a movie and not understand the business. You have to get in film festivals like Fantasia, like Fantastic Fest. You did all the right things, but you have to know that. And if you don't know that, then you might not get seen by IFC or Shudder, and those doors might not open. So you have to have a full scope of what's going on. You can't just make a movie and then like, well, I hope somebody likes it. Like, you have to really hustle, and you have to, like we said, be a little bit crazy, but you also have to know the business. And it sounds like you've been doing this for quite some time, that you have a full grasp of that. So I just want to thank you for sharing so much insight on your end with people that are watching, because not everybody gets that.
Well, I'm learning it, right? Like, I'm a product of my failures and my defeats, and the shit piles you've stepped in, right? I will say this: like, the first movie I made was a horror thriller. The film business in the film industry, the word business and industry exists for a reason. It's making people money. There's a lot of people that make money off of the hard work of creatives. Although, in something that's never been lost upon me is that creatives will endlessly believe in themselves and their ideas, despite what everyone else says, from first blush, and they'll be told no, no, no. And a creative always finds a reason to say yes, right? Like, otherwise you wouldn't keep going. At the same time, right, it is a business, right? It needs to make people money. And I don't take that. That's a huge responsibility. Like, I don't come from money. I don't have money. But if I'm going to spend someone's money, I want to deliver for them, right? I respect that, right? Like, I don't have the liquidity to finance a film, and I don't even know if I would realistically, right? Like, I'm 40 again. I'm 45. I have 2 kids, a mortgage. Like, I'm probably not in that position. But the first movie we made was a horror thriller, post-apocalyptic horror thriller. It won the Audience Award at Tribeca. We found good distribution. We made it for next to no money, and it's made everyone money. It's doing well, and it didn't matter at all to anyone in the film industry. and this is the one, and I know you're not asking me for a piece of advice, but I think about this all the time, is that we did something that we felt was safe and showed people, because we would get the feedback when we finally were putting together, again, I'd failed to make 2 movies. We started putting together a third, and we were like, well, the feedback we were getting was, well, we don't know if you can make a movie. You've never made a movie. And so we said, well, we'll show you, and we'll be responsible filmmakers. We'll find the line that exists between our creative acumen and our business acumen, and we'll succeed that way. And we did that, and it didn't matter. In fact, like, I think it actually turned people off in Hollywood, or turned people in the like larger like indie financing system off. And I don't know why. And what I didn't know why at the time, but what I've come to realize is this, is that what I should have done was make something insane that made people pay attention, and wasn't just like proving that we could. And I think I would, and I think in some ways, like, Dolly is me trying to recalibrate a little, which is to go, well, I was overlooked for a lot of Hollywood studio jobs, or no, I interviewed for a lot of Hollywood horror jobs. And I was told, you know, in the lead up to 2021, well, you've never directed a horror film. We don't know if you can. And I was like, well, I've only directed the movies I can. I don't have a say over that. I've pitched you 100 movies. Like, you haven't let me direct one. So I was like, well, I'll show them, right? I'll solve that problem. But also I'll make sure that it doesn't hold anything back, right? Like, I'm tired of being dismissed for reasons that don't make sense. And not that that's a good motivator to make anything, but, you know, maybe like wanting to win and show them that you did know what you were doing is a fine motivator to an extent. Is going like, well, you know what, like, you lose a game. I don't play sports like people that some, but like, I'm sure when they lose a big game, you hear athletes talk about the motivation that it gives them to go fight harder and work harder and be like, I'm gonna win. I actually sat next to a well-known professional football player on a flight back to Nashville in 2017 or 18. Well known, his career was maybe winding down, and he was sitting in the middle seat. He was cramped. He was way too big for the middle seat. And we got to talking towards the end of the flight. And he said, like, he said the thing that motivated him when he was starting out was that one day the people who dismissed him as a player would tell others how they knew him. He's like that, and he's like, and it came true. And then he's like, and I'm still nice to them, and I talk to them, and they don't. He's like, but nobody wanted to help when I was like starting out, or when I was trying to prove myself. Now they all want to be my friend and act like none of that history has ever happened. He's like, the thing is, you are winning. You've won just by getting to that point, right? If they've forgotten how much of an asshole they were to you, and how dismissive they were, then that means you've won them over. But because your work speaks for itself, your acumen speaks for itself. And I think like that is a great motivator. It's like, I just want to win people over and show the haters like that I can. And that I need to show them that so I can keep making a living, so I can take care of my family, so I can make more movies, so I can have more twisted thoughts and make masks.
I think the message here tonight is haters gonna hate.
Yes.
And if you ain't got no money, go make your movie anyways. Because Here we go, IFC Shudder picking this up. Huge theatrical release over in the European market. So excited for you. Congratulations. Yeah, we've got people wants to know what you're working on next.
So I sold a movie to Amblin in end of 2018, 2019. That's a horror thriller set in my hometown. It's my friend Bryce and I wrote it. Bryce and I created Night Swim, and Bryce directed Night Swim. And it's, you know, my mother's the protagonist. She, you know, comes across some things she shouldn't, and it like becomes nothing what you think it is in the beginning. So I'm trying to revitalize that. And I've also got like an action horror thriller that takes place in real time called Die by Night that we were supposed to make this past year. And it's we got Vincent Prost, who's done all the concept art. He's an incredible illustrator and concept designer in Chicago. He's done all, like, I mean, Blumhouse movie. I mean, the man is a machine. And that's like, yeah, a little more skews a little more science fiction. So like Alien and Blade Runner meets creature feature, like, yeah, like, so I don't know. I'm just trying to make
indie horror hearts.
Sorry?
I said, be still our indie horror hearts.
I know.
I know
I don't
Rick's
know,
lighting up there. I'm like, he's speaking Rick's love language. Very, very exciting. Where can everyone follow you on socials to keep up with Dolly and what it is that you're going to be doing next?
Sure. I think Instagram is probably the best place, right? Like,
That's where I stalk you. Yeah.
Okay. I've been really bad between kids and life. I tried to stop scrolling. I try to just post professionally. It's hard. Like, I try to get back to everyone. I'm drowning a little bit right now, which I think is a good sign, although I'm very, very anxious about all things Dolly.
Paying attention to what you're doing.
Yeah, because I friend requested you a while ago and still haven't heard anything yet. So yeah.
Oh, get over it.
Where did you send?
I'm kidding.
On Facebook. It's all good.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I need to do better. About Instagram, like just this morning, yesterday I made my kids, again, my oldest who's in the movie. I was taking him to school. We were in the drop off, like in the parking lot, and I was like, I need to make a video asking people to go see Dolly. And I was like, wrote my kids in, like, true family affair. This morning, I found I'd asked my mother to go into my childhood bedroom and pull out all my Stephen King books, because I'm like on a mission to get Stephen King to watch Dolly, and she found most of them, like a lot, like all my Green Mile novellas are missing, and some other things are missing too. But I was like, I've got the receipts here, please, so I'm on Instagram a bit, just because it seems like to have a fair amount of engagement. I don't know. Maybe it's because Meta's destroying our lives. Not really, but maybe they are. Maybe they're listening.
You guys have some traction for sure. Rick and you came up in both of our algorithms, I mean, I know we have a lot of horror in our algorithms, but we both kind of saw you around the same time. And then he was talking about it and I was talking about it, and we did the article.
The article is awesome. I've seen the article. I don't know if other people have seen it. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah. You can. That issue's out now.
Okay. I got sent it the other day, and I have been drowning in emails too. It's like a fire hose. There's like a fire hose of Dolly things. I'm like just trying to get a sip. It's just like, and so I saw it. By the way, yeah, it's awesome. Thank you. I appreciate. I'm a kid who is getting to do the thing that he never thought he would be able to do, and to do it where it resonates with other people and it's meaningful to them and it excites them, or it scares them, or makes them laugh or cringe, or that someone wants to write an article about it or talk to them on a live stream, is the best shit that can happen. Because I'm just a kid who grew up in the woods, didn't have anything, and wanted to make movies.
We're ourselves who love, filmmakers like you who are putting content out there that we look at, and Rick and I are like, hey, look at this fucked up doll. What is this? We got to watch it. We got to do a story. Let's have him on the podcast. So many things to learn here tonight, kids. Just get out there and do it.
Try.
We always say work harder than everybody else around you. And it's the people who give up right before they're about to make it that don't make it. So just keep going. It's hard. And you have those moments of being like, damn, what am I doing? Am I in too deep? Should I stop now? Don't. Because, look at everybody here. Everybody's still rocking and rolling. So thank you so much for coming on. We love you. We'll just have to come back sometime, because I feel like there's something more to talk about. So maybe we'll loop back around after your theatrical release and see what's going on. I'm sure you'll have other great films in the future that you're going to get out there that we're going to get to see. And then we can stalk you again and do another article and bring you back on the show. Let's do it.
The first thing I'm going to do after we're all done here tonight is I'm going to go accept Rick's Facebook friend request.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I got lots to talk to you about.
I'm so sorry.
Don't even apologize. It's all good. All right, we're going to kick you backstage real quick, say goodbye, shut the show down, and then we'll come back and give you a proper goodbye, okay?
Sounds great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Rod. So awesome. What a great show, you guys. I'm so personally inspired by everything that Rod had to say. It just resonates. And, I needed to hear it. Believe me, I did. And I know a lot of you did too. So thank you for tuning in. Check him out on socials. Keep an eye out for Dolly. And we'll see you junkies next Wednesday. Have a good night.